Last week, I posted a video about the campaign that I am doing. Since posting, people have come up to me on questions about the project, which makes sense since some things seem confusing, not to mention that this is my first time ever doing a campaign on the internet all by myself. I'm going to take the time with this video to answer most people's questions. We'll play the game 20 questions. I answer the questions that I get in general, such as, what is Witches, the Star Giant Productions campaign? Witches, the Star Giant Productions campaign is a campaign for the Star Giant Productions channel, aka my channel, to add new characters to various videos in my video series. These are 5 new original characters meant to each tell a story. 6 if you want to count the incubator. What is the money that you're going to make even going into? I made a pie chart right here that showcases the money. $8,000 is going into the editing, that is what is required for most of this project. $5,000 for animation, $3,000 for everything art-wise including characters and background art, $2,000 for any character voices, and miscellaneous is everything else for the project like music, plus additional money for any category above in case any section needs more money. Despite this for animation, there's going to be a lot more editing than animation. That's why the editing number is higher than the animation. Who are the characters? The characters that you see here will be the stars of my series. All of them are ages 26 to 28 at present, though in different stories they could be younger or older. Anna Presso, the main character, is a cutesy, innocent, happy woman. She loves to be wacky, silly, and doesn't believe in ice cream freezes your brain if you eat it too fast. She's not exactly the brightest one out there. But don't tell her that, that's not really nice. Ophelia is a shy woman. She hides her hair behind one eye, doesn't speak up much, that kind of shyness. After Anna Presso saved her life one day, she fell in love with her. In fact, Anna Presso was the one that taught Ophelia on how to be a magical girl. Miss Takana is the leader of the group. Being a magical girl for the longest makes her in charge, and she's the most powerful of them all. Calantha is a mystery solver. She loves hearing about super phenomena, and ghosts interest her. She also loves hearing about magical creatures, or fictional creatures, like, say, griffins. Freyja is a sporty girl. She loves to yell and be edgy, per se. She's the rebel of the group, the one who loves danger. She'll state she's gonna jump off a cliff, but really she's just being edgy. She'll know more about sports than any of the other girls combined. And lastly for now, Corbin. You saw him at the end of the Toy Story 4 Pixar path. He's a cat-like creature called an incubator. He grants girls wishes. Can you tell me spoilers? Sure, but if you don't want to hear spoilers, skip to this specific timestamp right here. Like, I know you can't click it on the actual video, but go to that in the actual video if you don't want to hear spoilers. Alright, you skipped that part? You didn't? Okay, you want to hear the spoilers, so let's talk about spoilers. For right now, I don't have much to go on for Anna Presso. She's supposed to be the object or love interest for Ophelia. I do plan on these two getting married in a future episode. As for Ophelia, back when all these girls were in high school, one night, Anna Presso was still demonstrating how to hunt witch. When the powerful witch ended up killing Anna Presso right in front of Ophelia's eyes, distraught, she starts crying over the loss of her new friend. She runs away from the witch before the witch can kill her. While in hiding, Corbin talks to Ophelia about making a wish. He gaslights her into one by saying, I mean, if you're fine with your new friend being dead, that's your call, not mine. He also will try to state, in your current state, even if you brought her to life, she'll just die again like you. If only there was a way to stop this. This makes Ophelia have a realization that she doesn't want Anna Presso to ever die, and thus she not only wishes her back to life, but to make her immortal. She also made herself immortal. That way, they can be alive together forever. At the start for the next couple of weeks, things look good. That is until Ophelia's mom passes away. I'm not sure the reason for death yet. There are multiple possibilities, but nothing is set in stone yet. This unfortunately makes Ophelia come to the realization that because herself and Anna Presso can't die, they will never be able to see any of their family again once they pass, or even their friends. Worse still is that Ophelia's wish can't be undone. You've heard the saying before, be careful what you wish for. So what Ophelia needs to do is undo a wish. Anna Presso, for the record, has no idea that she can't die. Ophelia never had the courage to tell her this, because she's afraid that if the truth comes out, then Anna Presso won't be her friend anymore. Anna Presso eventually learns the truth about the situation, and she forgives Ophelia for it. After that, they'll get married. And as for after that, I'm still working on the process. It's possible they're gonna adopt a child, though. Miss Takana is the main villain of the group, but she's a gaslighting villain. Everyone thinks that she's a good person, but over time, she does manipulate them more and more. Some at other point. At the age of 20, I had my character turn into a witch, and Miss Takana was the one to notice me turn into a witch, and then she tries to kill me. Spoilers, I live, lol. Her ideology is the type of people in real life that I generally hate. Backwards thinking, homophobic, doesn't give a shit about sexes, stuff like that. And she blackmails everyone in her group to love her. And if anyone steps out of line, she'll kill them. She is way more powerful than the other 4. Calantha is going to be the first character that they meet, and she'll gain suspicion of me being a witch. She'll also be the one to establish that I was supposed to be dead. Only Ophelia knows of me being a witch is still alive, because there's a point in time that Ophelia and I faked my death, but that's a story for another day. The other 4 magical girls and Corbin will think that I'm dead. And finally, Frasier. You might notice that she's a cyborg, as she has some parts that are of a robot. This wasn't some intentional decision. In the past, her mother was a magical girl, but she sadly turned into a witch shortly after she gave birth to Frasier. When you become a witch, you do evil, unspeakable things. She was promised by the show's version of Satan himself, being named Yin, that if she killed her own daughter, she would be given better rewards. She was able to successfully cut off all of her limbs, but Frasier's dad was able to protect her from Frasier's now evil mother. A deal was made that Frasier would take the dad's life instead of Frasier as long as Frasier could live. And what happened is that the dad accepted and fused with the mom, presumably becoming dead. A family will find her shortly afterwards in the field by herself. They adopted her right then and there and made her those body parts since the parents were a scientist and the other a mechanic. Is this an animated series? Let me try to be clearer on this since there is confusion. Animation is a loose definition. Animation, a series of images, each slightly different from the last, shown in sequence. This could be interpreted in multiple ways. When my characters move side to side, it can be called animation. That lip movement that I did in my rat animation review on Summer Job is animation. The style of animation is something like Jellopocalypse, Epithet Erase, or Fob Equestria as a whole, where it is animation, but not the full kind that you see like in Hazbin Hotel. This is a limited animation series. That's kind of why there's more money for the editing as opposed to the animation, because there's going to be a lot more editing than animation. How do the characters interact with each other, as in my own characters? The way that the characters interact is going to be different per character. They're adults that have their own lives, but they do come together when a powerful witch is in the area trying to hurt innocent people. In terms of context view of the show, you'll be talking to my friends, kind of like what my friends already do in my own videos. Are there scripts written yet of these stories that you have planned? Every single script in progress is in the description of this video. Keep in mind, these aren't finished yet, nor is every story yet, and there will be way more scripts to come. Why does your main character want to prove that witches are good? In life, people are bullied because of stereotypes, like being of a certain height or weight, or more offensively, sadly, race, religion, and disability. In this world, witches are known as semi-human creatures that drive innocent people to suicide. A way to defeat witches, according to the general public of this world, not magical girls, is to insult those that are witches. Witches are usually creatures that magical girls can only see. How does a non-magical person tell if someone is a witch? Witches are secretive creatures that don't tell people that they are witches. But, Rebecca in the story doesn't know that. She knew that people view witches as bad, but instead of shutting up about it and staying secret about it, she decided in the beginning to state that she is a witch. Are there multiple types of witches? A witch in this universe is a creature only visible to magical girls. There is a reason why Rebecca is the exception to this rule. I have a reason, but I'm gonna wait a bit to explain the full reason once certain other characters down the line are introduced. How many episodes will this project be? In terms of original movies per se, 6. Most of the videos that these women will be a part of are just my regular reviews, and my goal is to make a total of 500 videos for my channel. Currently, I'm at 250 videos, so I'm halfway done. In terms of the stories that they're gonna be part of, well, they are mainstays for my channel. Think of a series that adds new characters down the line. I'm doing something like that. Think like SMG4 with characters such as Maggie or Melanie. What tone are you going for? Genre-wise, dramedy. That's basically half drama, half comedy. Kinda like Family Guy or the TED TV series. Magical Girl is also a given. Are these characters fictional? Yes, and they're not based on anyone in real life. I'm not gonna pull a Miraculous Ladybug Season 5 piece of shit here and basically bully from my real life school days into a fictional character that I couldn't let myself go of. With the exception of Ryan, since he's based on my real self, everyone here is made up. No name is based on a real person, and the scenarios aren't based on real events. Is your project based on other existing IP? This is an original series not based on any real-life IP. It is, however, based on different IPs as a whole. No product exists is 100% original whole cloth. Everything in life technically borrows from another source. You just don't want to steal too much, otherwise it'd be plagiarism. For this series in general, it's gonna have partial elements from products that I like. It is usually like that in my writing. Everything television-wise like My Little Pony, Steven Universe, SpongeBob, Amphibia Family Guy, and a lot more shows and movies. The show that is most similar is going to be Madoka Magica. You probably know some similar concepts as in magical girls and witches. A concept or idea can legally be used by other people, provided that you don't use their names or characters that look like them. It's why you can do your own versions of Snow White as long as you don't use the names of the dwarves. In the case of my show, I'm obviously not going to use Madoka Kaname, Hamura Akemi, Sayaka Miki, Mami Tomo, Kyoko Sakurai, and Kyubey, or any other character I didn't make. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm phasing out characters that aren't mine on my channel. So me showing off Figment was more than likely a one-time thing, and he more than likely won't be used that much in the future, as I focus only on the original characters and my friends. Becky is like that, as she is not based on a real person, but rather an original character that I came up with. How comes you didn't show any animation to your animation pitch? Animation is too expensive to even do as a pitch. Even then, I didn't think it was necessary for the trailer pitch. Is animation expensive? Yes, it is. It depends on what you want. The higher the quality, the costlier it is. Sometimes there is a format for the length of animation. This might not be the best example, but the verbalized animation of his character getting chased down by Charlie from Hazbin Hotel costs $50,000. You may think it's a ripoff or ridiculous since it's only 3 minutes long, but it's actually a normal price in the professionalism world. 1 frame of animation is generally $10. 1 second of animation is usually 24 frames. 24 times 10 is $240 a second for animation. 60 seconds in a minute, 240 times 60 equals $14,400. Multiply that by 3 and you get $43,200. This is why a lot of animation is done in South Korea, because they pay their animators at a 40% cost, meaning something like $4 per frame of animation. Now that is not the case for everyone. Animators can charge whatever they want. One animator that I am hiring for a future project of mine does $8 a second. The idea is that you need to charge at a price that is affordable. You know, that way you're not bankrupt. Of course, most humans don't consider animation as an art form. If you want people to consider animation a medium and not a genre, then the first actual step is to pay your animators better. A lot of animation has to deal with shortcuts. Things like characters standing in a room for seconds on end, or just bopping up and down as you don't see the actual leg movement. Even though humans do both, and they move more than the actual still characters. It's also why a lot of times background characters are just black and white characters or just blobs, because it's to save animation budget. A typical Family Guy episode, for example, was also like $1 million an episode, even though a lot of it goes into the writing and voice actors. Why not take your project idea to an actual animation studio, or at least gain experience? There are so many reasons in your questions why it's bad. Hell, every year it seems like I can add at least one reason to not join any animation company. What happens when you join is that you're instantly stripped of your own copyright. The company in question can do whatever the fuck they want with your creation, and you won't ever have any control of your own work ever. I can bring up hundreds of examples, but let's just name 3 for now. Constant Pain was this show that was going to be a Nicktoon, but it was cancelled due to one of the scenes looking like the 9/11 terrorist attacks, even though this came out half a year before said attacks. Despite this, Paramount still owns the copyright. Mika Wright, the creator of the series, cannot do anything with this series forever, even after over 20 years of it not being able to exist. Tom Warper, who wanted to make a sequel series to Kids Next Door, but Cartoon Network would not let him, even though over 90,000 people petitioned for Tom's show to be made. Last week, Paramount released a new show called The Tiger's Apprentice. According to one of the people that worked on it, they call it the 6 most miserable months of their lives. The film had half of its people laid off a week before Christmas 2019. The original people wanted to tell a good original story, but Paramount was all like, no, we just want to steal Spider-Verse's success by ripping it off. And they continued to abuse their staff for the next 4 years. Some staff got special privileges, while others weren't even allowed vacations. They were still writing the film as late as fall 2023, and the film steals an asset from Raya and the Last Dragon. Going independent is way harder due to expenses, but I at least get my freedom. As for my experience, I have animated for 6 months now, myself, and I kind of learned that animation is too mind-numbing for me, so having others to help me is going to be great. If I donate, what would I get? Like, why are there no real rewards? The worst thing that you could do with your campaign isn't fail, but rather promise false rewards. Things like Mighty Number 9, O-Axis, or Cans Without Labels. Even though they all made their budgets and goals, the results were mediocre and came out years too late. It's projects like these why I believe most people won't back me. Yeah, the odds of me actually getting to 25,000 are 0%. So that's why I don't want to give out false promises like, hey, give me this much and you're guaranteed a poster. I mean, I do have that at the 500 reward, but I'd rather be realistic and not lie. And being realistic often means being rude. Cutting to the point and be blunt. You never want to promise someone an award that you can't afford. And when you get caught, people are going to back you in the corner and you're going to be forced to run away. It's why I didn't give full incentives. But I did at least give some things out. At $5, you get my thanks and thank you in the credits of the project once it's done. At $50, you get to be part of the thank you project, but your name will be bigger and flashier. And at $500, if I make enough money, you'll get custom posters of the show signed by me. How long have you worked on this project for? It depends. I've been wanting to make an original animated series for all my life. This project here has been on my mind for 6 months. I've had ideas on animation projects for about 10 years though, going on and on with different ideas all the time. I once made a series on DVR called Giantess Jobs. Basically, it was a series about 8 giantesses living in a city having adventures. I made a sequel series called Infinitiverse. Basically a series about a woman who makes her own cartoons and then one day she gets trapped inside her own cartoons. I didn't like how either one turned out, and the latter wasn't even completed. So if you try to go to DeviantArt to find them, you're not going to find them. I deleted the projects. Although I did save some scripts, so if you really want to see the scripts, just ask me, I'll send it then. I finally narrowed it down to the idea of proving to the world that not all witches are evil. Kind of based on my own experiences and some of the hurdles in life that I went through. I have more questions about the project. Is there a way for me to ask them? Yes, there is. You can ask me right here on my YouTube channel, or DM me on Twitter. And if you're on my Discord server, you can message me on there. Before I end this video, just a couple people to thank. Thank you, Raiden Baron, for giving me professional criticism on my project and helping me shape out this video. Thank you, Sage Froppy, for helping me get this far. Thank you, Emily Rocks and May Celia, for being the first people to donate. Thank you, Skylar Jones, for the editing of the trailer. And thank you, The Anime Freak, for designing the characters. Rebecca Starlight, out.